Since you have clicked on this video, I know that you have struggled with reading the Silmarillion. You find it even intimidating to start. But don't you worry, you are not alone, because I have struggled with it myself. And I have found a great solution to make this book so much easier to read and so much easier to understand, because it is a must read for all Middle-earth fans. So that is why I'm going to give you these tips and tricks on how to make it much easier to read the Silmarillion and enjoy this wonderful world that J.R.R. Tolkien has created. But why is it so difficult to read? Well, first of all, it doesn't follow a main story. It has many, and with many stories come many protagonists. It isn't like the Hobbit that you follow just one main character like Bilbo. No, you have many characters. And not only that, but you have many names for people, for places that you just go crazy to remember all of them. But in this video, I will help you with this, and I will aid you in reading this so much easier. And first of all, you have to put on a different mindset. It is not your standard novel that you're going to read. You have to look at it a completely different way. That is, and here, listen to me carefully, read it as a history book. Not a story, a history. And this will change so much. It is a history book. It is the history of Middle-earth, the history that goes before The Lord of the Rings. Just like a history book, you have some stories that are looking at the character individually. And this we have as well with the Silmarillion, like for Beren and Luthien or the Tale of Turin Turambar. These are so detailed, looking at just one character, one main protagonist. In other parts of that history book, you have less detailed and they cover a larger portion of time. And in the Silmarillion, you have this as well. You have stories that take a couple of years in just a couple of pages. Read it as a history book, put on that mindset, and you will read it so much easier. The thing is with the Silmarillion, it has all these different stories that take place in the first age of Middle-earth. But at the end, they all come together into one. But you don't know this. You don't know where everything is going to. And some of these chapters, you might think, what does this have to benefit to the story? What does this have to do? Like the chapter of Maeglin. We see this character being born and how he grows up, that he goes back with his mother to Gondolin. But after this chapter, you don't read about him for many chapters. It's like, what was even the point of bringing this chapter in the story? You don't know this, but at the end you will find out why it was placed in the Silmarillion. And there are some other chapters like chapter 14 of Beleriand and its realms. It is a difficult and, might I say, even boring chapter to read. It just explains all the different places in Beleriand, where everybody is located, where all the different kingdoms are, and so on. It doesn't have a main protagonist. It doesn't have a story. It is just a map guide. I haven't covered yet how to work with all these names. We have so many characters, so many names, and even the same character has different names. Like First Elves, they had a name given by their mother and a name given by their father. Like Feanor, for example. Feanor was named by his father Kuro Finwë, which means skilled Finwë. Finwë was his father. But his mother gave him another name many years later, and that was Feanor, which simply means spirit of fire, because his spirit could not be tempted. But you will read this in the Silmarillion. I won't spoil too much for you, because otherwise this video will be completely worthless. Point aside, we have many names for many different people, and we have also these many locations. And I get it, it is intimidating. One good thing that the Silmarillion has, it has a complete index at the end of the book, where you can find every name with a short explanation of who these people actually are. It has some family trees, which are very helpful when you forgot which son is from who. One great trick I want to give you to read the Silmarillion here is just forget about the names. Don't worry about them. The ones you need to know will be returning quite often, so you won't forget it. Like with the Valar itself, we have 12 different Valar. Only the majority of them will be named countless of times. The others are there as well, but they aren't as important as the main ones, like Manwë or Varda or Aule, Ivana, Mandos, Ulmo. Those are the main. Valar, they will be named countless of times so you don't forget it. And even if you have forgot their names, don't worry. If you have difficulties with knowing which is which, go to the end of your book. You will read it. It's fine. The names will be repeated countless of times for those you need to know. From locations as well, there will be locations named throughout the story that will only be named in that chapter. Don't worry, it isn't necessary to know everything. Knowing this will make it so much more easier to read the Silmarillion. One other bonus tip for you. I cover all these Middle-earth stories that are represented in the Silmarillion, the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, and Unfinished Tales, and much more here on this channel. So subscribe to the Table of Durin so you don't miss out on any new videos, because they can help you in reading the Silmarillion easier, even with Lord of the Rings and even the Hobbit. So subscribe to the Table of Durin and I will help you through the process of reading all these books, because Middle-earth is such a great world created by the legendary J.R.R. Tolkien, and it is honestly something that I fell in love with, and I want you to understand them the same way as I do. The Book of the Silmarillion is a very hard book, but with these tips and tricks that I have given you in this video, it will be much easier to read the Silmarillion. And maybe one first tip for you to see is the origins of the Silmarils that were created by Fëanor. Here in this video, I will explain to you why this Fëanor created Silmarils in the first place. So enjoy this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.